It's the Terrible at Fishing radio show on Gold Country Radio. Here's your fishing expert and host, Michael Raffino.
Welcome back to Terrible at Fishing, everybody. Well, I am officially going to tell you that according to Terrible at Fishing and Michael Raffino, your host, fishing season has officially begun. The lakes are thawed, the lakes are getting stocked, and fish are getting caught in a slow way, but they're getting caught. Now, I could tell you a secret, and the nice thing is only those listening to this program are going to know how to catch a big, giant German brown trout. And that is to understand where and when ODFW is stocking legal size rainbow trouts. German brown trouts, they're hungry right now, really hungry. And these guys are huge. I mean, they're 30 inches, give or take. They got mouths like a largemouth bass in width, but I mean, they got jaws that'll probably outdo a great white or a largemouth bass. And they got teeth. I would not suggest putting your hand inside a mouth of a brown. These guys are looking for a meal right now. And this is, spring fishing is an incredibly rich, tough, strategic fishing. Now, how do you catch a big brown? Well, first time it right, which is usually within 3 days of the stock of legal size rainbow trouts. So follow those, go to ODFW, to the fishing, and follow where they're putting in legals, not trophies, legal size. Legal size are, 6 to 10 inches. They're pretty, but they're going to put in thousands of them, okay? And that noise, fish do make noise. They speak, almost in a clicking sound. And when they dump in thousands of these fish, it's a ruckus. And and we all know sound travels in water. It magnifies sound, right? So it doesn't matter where they're putting them in. The predators are going to hear them in the lake. I don't care if they're at the other end of the lake, 2 miles away. They're going to hear it. This is an amazing ruckus that happens, and it gets their attention. So for a few days, those big predators are going to be coming up over to that area. Now, like the woods last week, got a good stocking at the main ramp. So if you've ever and they've got their marina in right now, and they've got some of the rental boats in, so great for them. Jade, the manager there, she is probably the best marina manager you'll ever have. So hats off to Jade. Good job, girl. So the marina's up now. They stocked over at the main ramp, right? Thousands of these things, right? Those things are holding, a lot of them are holding underneath the marina. If you go to the marina, you'll see a lot of trout. Now, do you want to catch rainbow trout? Yeah, you might. Me? No. I don't want to catch rainbow trout. I want to catch what's eating them. Okay, so 2 things are going to want to eat these guys: German browns and largemouth bass, which are super hungry right now, but water's pretty cold. So more than likely you're going to go for the browns. But if you grab a big largemouth, a 7-pounder, you're a happy camper. And you're going to catch them on the same bait. That's the cool thing about it. So now, what type of bait are you going to throw? Well, you're going to throw a swim bait, some type, a glide bait, a swim bait, something big. I know. But, I mean, there's two ways of fishing right now. You can throw a tiny 1/16 of an ounce, spinner and catch rainbow trout. You can catch those. That's easy. Put a jig down there, catch them. Boom. Super easy. So if you get frustrated and you aren't catching the big babies, the big guys, go small. You're going to have 2 rods. You're going to have a super heavy, and you're going to have an ultralight. So those are your 2 rods you're going to take fishing. And that's if you're going to get frustrated with not catching a big one. Now, you're going to throw this thing out. Now, the nice thing about browns, they like to hit at sun up and sundown. That's when they are most active. So you could switch your fishing technique, a couple hours into your fishing day, or a couple hours at the end of your fishing day. And you're going to throw big, and you're going to run that in an injured pattern. So what do I mean by an injured pattern? Let it sink to about 6 to 10 feet, okay? Maybe even off the bottom. And you're going to not give it a steady retrieve. You're going to give it a retrieve, then stop. You're going to give it a few tugs to get it to change direction on your swim bait. And you're just going to, give it some erratic motion. Let the predator see that this is the weak link. They will go for the weak link. And this is a common thing in the wild. I mean, lions don't go for what's in the middle of the herd. They go for the stragglers outside of the herd. Fish do the same thing. This is exciting, all right, guys? So you got to get there first thing, sun up. And you got to get there at sundown. And the beautiful thing about Lake of the Woods is a lake that is open 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day. So you can fish at midnight if you want. And it's gorgeous at midnight. It really is. Lake's serene. The stars are abundant above you. They're reflecting off of the water. I can't tell you how beautiful it is at night. Although most of you know that. So, but if you do night fishing, make sure that you abide by, if you're on a boat or a kayak, make sure you got your indicator lights. All right, very, very important. So if there's another boat out there, they can see you. Or if you're in trouble, you can go ahead and signal a distress. So real important. So where was I? Time of day. Brown trout. First thing in the morning, we're looking, sun up, half hour before sun up to hour and a half after sun up in the morning. So, I mean, you're going to go out, you're launching in the dark, okay? You're going to launch in the dark. And while you're trolling, and you're going to be trolling, you're going to troll Rainbow Bay, okay? You're trolling Rainbow Bay around the lodge point up to Aspen. And you're going to come back around. So you're going to go up, and you're going to come back. Trolling speed is really important. Do not, okay, troll too fast. All right? It's just not, I'm talking, dial a 1 if you've got my boat is a Sea Eagle Fold Cat, which I have a story to tell you about that this week. I was all excited. It's an inflatable pontoon boat that's a little over 12 feet. And I have a 40, what do you call them? 40? I don't know what it is. Anyway, it's It's a trolling motor by Newport. My brain's a little broken this week. Had what we call an episode, so my brain is broken. When I get excited, I can talk fluidly, but if I have to think, I can't. So anyway, it's a Newport. It's the biggest 12-volt, trolling motor, and I put it on a 1. Okay, on my boat, and I'm going slow, 1.5 miles an hour. All right, it's pretty much what I'm doing. And at 1.5 miles an hour, I get a good action on my swim bait without pulling it up. All right, I pause my boat every once in a while in order to work an area. Now, what areas do I work? Good question, because that's really a good question. They stocked at the marina, right? They're holding under the marina. If you're going to do some pausing and play injured on your bait, you need to do it in front of the marina. All right, that's where you need to go. Okay, so you're making this route, and I do apologize if I start stuttering this week because of my brain injury. But anyway, get back to this. You're going to come around, and you're going to be in 9 to 10 feet of water. Okay, that's where you want to be. 9 to 10 feet of water. You want to be fishing in that lower third of that water column. Okay, so you're going to be working 6 or 7 feet deep down to the bottom. That's where you want to work. Now, why put so much effort into catching a brown trout? Well, because brown trouts are amazing fish. Technically, you can keep one, okay, from Lake of the Woods, but please put it back. You're going to get excited, and if you go to my YouTube channel, Terrible at Fishing, there's me catching a 27-inch, 9-pound monster out of Lake of the Woods. These things fight like you've never had a fight. If there's a lot of people in Klamath Falls that ocean fish, and so we go over Brookings or wherever, Newport, and we go out on a boat, and we go lingcod fishing. Have you ever caught a lingcod? If you've caught a lingcod, you understand a German brown. They have very, very similar fights. These guys play tug of war with you. They do not, do what a rainbow trout does or a bass does. Bass will shake your hook out of their mouth. A rainbow trout will break surface and fly through the air, shaking their mouth in order to create slack and kicking the hook out of their mouth. Not these guys. They think they're Hulk Hogan or The Rock. They think they can play tug of war with you. And they are just pulling on you. And you're pulling back. This is real important to understand your line and your drag. So set your drag to just under your line's tolerance. All right? So you're throwing, you're throwing a, 2-ounce bait, maybe 6-ounce bait. Now I've got, 30-pound test on my heavy stuff. And I've got a 30-pound test leader, a fluorocarbon. So I set my tension at 25 pounds. So when I set that hook, I can set it hard and keep that line tight while I'm not breaking my line. Okay? Real important to set your drag properly on this. Set the hook and just play tug of war with him. When he turns, reel him in. When he wants to take it out, let him go. This is really the trick for any fishing, but these guys think they can out-muscle you. And this is one of the best fish for you to catch locally. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to be back. We're going to talk more about fishing season.
Out in the backwoods under the stars, I tune in the radio from my old car. Gold Country Radio on Friday night. Terrible at fishing, but it feels just right.
Want to get your business noticed? Sponsor a show on KKFO Gold Country Radio on 103.3 FM and create awareness through on-air announcements, our online stream at goldcountryradio.org, and our podcasts that live on forever. Your message reaches a broad local audience while also targeting listeners who choose to tune in to the shows they love. Plus, we promote your sponsorship across our website and social media. For more information, email goldcountryradio@gmail.com. Call 541-238-6989 or visit goldcountryradio.org. Gold Country Radio, your message heard locally and beyond.
The Terrible at Fishing Radio Show. Michael's got the secrets and now you know. Can't line your cast just fine. Gold Country Radio.
Welcome back to Terrible at Fishing. Boy, in our first segment, I get all excited. So we're talking about catching the big ones. And, you know, big ones is what we want, you know? I mean, we want to catch fish, right? And we're starting to see some lakes start to perk up a little bit. And, you know, the stocking schedules are in full swing right now. And Dog Lake, you know, somebody caught a 4-pound largemouth bass over at Dog Lake. Now, I will tell you one thing. That's a sort of a secret lake, Dog Lake. I know it's like 2 hours away, but if you go over to Drew's Reservoir and pass it, okay, there's a little lake called Dog Lake. Dog Lake does not allow gas-powered motors on the lake. It's a great kayaking lake, really good kayaking lake, or canoe or whatever. It's not a big lake, but if you look on a map, Dog Lake, it has a great bass population. And you can catch some incredible monsters out of that lake, and it's easy to fish. It's a very simple fishing lake. One thing about cold water fishing for warm water fish, warm water fish are hungry, but they do get shocked with cold water. So they'll come up and they'll go back down deep. They'll come up, they'll go back down because the warmer water is still on the bottom of the lake. It hasn't had what we call an inversion. An inversion is where the cold water and warm water, they trade positions in the lake. And this thermocline, which is a separation, sort of like a dead zone between warm water and cold water, that is a barrier that keeps these species from mixing. But just like an Italian, when we get hungry, just stay away from our plates. They'll come, the largemouth bass will come up, they'll hit, they'll get what they want and they'll go down. They usually do this on points, okay? On points near a drop-off. So you want to find, if you got a fish finder, or just go online and look up a map of a lake. They're all free, and you can just do it online and see where their deep points are and their high points. Our lakes are spilling over right now, okay? Our lakes are spilling over. They are at max capacity. So doesn't matter where you are, you got good water, okay? And we're starting to see some really good fishing right now, but it's slower, okay? We're catching them, but you got to be more patient in cold water because cold water fish, they're lethargic. I mean, we just finished ice fishing season, and we fish with a 30-inch rod that's super, super flexible. Why? Because fish are lethargic in cold water. You could barely feel or see their bite. So it's important to focus, on your line and the tip of your rod. Yeah, I usually have my index finger on the line, so I can feel subtleties on the bite, so I can just feel it, and that's real. These are little tricks, okay? That when you feel that change of tightness on the line, that's a nibble. That's when you want to, give it a quick flip with your wrist and try to set that hook. Don't expect, okay, that these fish in cold water bite and run. They don't usually. Now they can, but they don't usually. So it's real important to feel that change in tenseness on your line. And you do that by looking at, you've got a lightweight rod with a fast tip or a moderate tip. The slower the rod in action is, the more flexible the rod is. So never buy a slow rod. It's like a wet noodle. You can't set the hook and you can't keep the hook in. So you want moderate to a moderate fast. A moderate fast to a fast. Moderate fast to a fast rod. You still want some stiffness in your rod, but you want to see that tip move. And when you're cold water fishing, this is how you're fishing. Like I said, I usually have my index finger on my line. I use a bait caster most of the time. So, it's important, when I'm using a bait caster, that I have, there are some really nice reels out there that can launch very lightweight. And I use a Shimano Aldebaran BFS, which stands for Bait Finesse System. Shimano is the only company that can legally use the term BFS. BFS is trademarked by Shimano. If you see another brand using BFS, all three letters, and they're not Shimano, don't trust them. That means they're already breaking the law. And so, would you trust anybody that makes a bad first impression? No, you don't. Now, there are other companies that use Bait Finesse and stop, okay? They stop it, and they don't use the term Bait Finesse Systems. So Bait Finesse Tackle is a term that is not trademarked, or Bait Finesse is not a term that is trademarked. So it's real important when you're shopping for a quality brand and with a good reputation that you kind of look at, do they honor the industry? And Bait Finesse Systems, BFS, is only a Shimano, period. Now, other brands make Bait Finesse reels, but reputable companies like Daiwa, Penn, or whoever else, they're not going to use Bait Finesse Systems. But other Chinese companies are going to do it, and they do a lot of it. So, buyer beware. Just buyer beware. So, put your finger on your line. Keep an eye on that tip, because they're going to hit nice and soft. Now, we talked about big game fishing in the first segment. Now we're just going for any fishing in this segment. So what do we do? What do we do for fishing right now? There are several different things that we can do. All right, there's Ned rigs, and Ned rigs are a sort of a half length Senko worm, and we put it on a mushroom headed jig. So when it falls, the worm stands up on the bottom of the lake or on the bed. Ned rigs are a secret, okay? So you're learning another secret, all right, right now. This is a really good show. You really got to tell your friends about this show. A Ned rig is seldom used locally. And people, even advanced bass fishermen, they understand the value of a Ned. If all else fails, we throw a Ned, because Neds require patience, but they always pay off. They always pay off. Everything will hit a Ned. I've caught crappie on nets. I've caught rainbow trout on nets. I've caught the biggest bass as you can imagine, and everything else in between. Everything hits a Ned rig. It's a small little worm that wiggles its little tail at the bottom of the lake. And you're going to drop it down, and the lighter the Ned rig, the better. So don't go heavy. Don't throw, a quarter ouncer on it. Okay, just don't. Throw this time of year. You're going to be throwing the lightest Ned you can buy. Those Ned rigs are cheap. They really are very cheap. You can get 1/16 of an ounce. I wouldn't throw more than 1/8 of an ounce. And put a Ned on it. Now, what color Ned? All right. This is another secret. Okay. Are you ready? Trout see blue better than any other color. They see blue better than any other color. I mean, their eyes, their cones in their eyes are tuned to blue better than any other. Now, bass, okay, they don't even have blue cones. So they can't see blue, but they see it differently, all right? So a lot of guys, they go blue and black, okay, black and blue. Black and blue. Remember that, black and blue, black and blue. This is the colors that you want to go to this time of year. Black and blue. Now, why go so dark? Because typically as spring progresses, inversions happen. Remember that thing where warm and cold water change positions in the lake? What ends up happening is that it gets cloudy when that happens in a lake. And fish cannot see color. So they're going to see profiles. Black and blue. Black and blue. Dark baits work best this time of year. All right? They just do. People see me make, and you can see me, you can buy my baits over at the marina at Lake of the Woods, or just send me an email and stop by my house here in Klamath. And I'll be, and a secret too, I'll be at the Gun and Knife Show this weekend. The Gun and Knife Show, I will be there. So you can talk to me in my booth, and you can, say hi, see what I got. Tell me what you want. I make it. No big deal. We'll make it. But black and blue is really my colors for this for spring. And you guys have seen my show on YouTube channel, and then my show here. The Sixth Sense makes a hard bait called Black Magic. It is my favorite, and the one bait that I always catch my personal best on. That color scheme, which is black and blue. You'd be shocked. Really, really shocked at how good a dark bait works in water. A lot of people think, okay, well, how are the fish seeing it? Well, fish see profiles in this time of year, okay? Now, in the summer, we may switch it up and start going with some brighter colors. Some shad designs, some whites, some silvers, some pinks, and some lavenders. Lavenders is one of my favorite. And we as water clears up, we will go ahead and change that. Bubblegum, it's amazing. The bubblegum color works really good in the summer. It's crazy. Okay, so I do love to switch up colors, But this time of year, I'm going dark. You're just going to go dark with black and blue. So look through worms that are black and blue. Ned rigs that are black and blue. And baits, if you want to use a hard bait, black and blue. Darker swim baits, okay? We want darker swim baits. You might even want to go with with swim baits, you might want to go with a rainbow trout design, but a darker rainbow trout design. It's actually a lot of fun this time of year. So if you have time, stop by the fairgrounds this week and say hi to me. I'll be there at in the swap meet area. And when you get out there, be patient. Be patient. But the big ones, follow the stocking schedule of legal size trouts. Follow them, okay? Work it within 3 days of that stock, and work early morning, late in the day, and work a swim bait in that lower water column, trolling it slowly with pauses. Do that, and you'll have a great time fishing. Have fun. Tight lines, everybody. We'll see you guys out on the water.
That was Terrible at Fishing, the radio show, with fishing expert Michael Raffino. Check out Terrible at Fishing on YouTube, and tune in next week for the next episode and more great fishing tips. Terrible at Fishing, Fridays at 7 p.m. on Gold Country Radio.